Okay, so we're going to call to order Tuesday, May 7th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting. And for the audience here tonight, the City of Glendora utilizes a hybrid meeting format to allow for participation both in person and virtually. In consideration of others and the business conducted here tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices. Excuse me, refrain from speaking unless recognized. If you're interested in speaking during the public comment or public hearing period, cards are available in the lobby area rear of the chamber. Please fill a card out, submit it to the recording administrator. For those participating via Zoom, please select the raise hand icon in Zoom before the close of the public comment and or public hearing period, and you will be recognized and unmuted. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate your respect and participation in this meeting tonight. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Madam Clerk for a roll call.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to conduct an oral roll call and request that each member respond with present when their name is called. Commissioner Crimmins?
Present.
Commissioner Davis?
Present.
Commissioner Koss?
Present.
Vice Chair Faber?
Present.
Chair Norwood?
Present.
Let the record show all members are present.
With that, I'd like everyone to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda tonight? Okay, seeing none. I'm going to open the public comment period. I invite members of the public to address the commission. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once, both on and off agenda items. If you are in attendance, again, please fill out a card you can find in the rear of the chamber and state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. If you're via Zoom, please raise your hand and you'll be unmuted. So at this time, I'm going to invite members of the here in the attendance if they choose to speak at the public comment. Seeing none, any Zoom?
We have nobody on Zoom.
Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and close the public comment period. So I'm going to invite reports from the commissioners. Commissioner Koss.
I don't have anything tonight.
Commissioner Davis.
Nothing.
Commissioner Vice Chair Faber.
Nothing to report at this time.
And Commissioner Crimmins.
Nothing for me this evening.
Okay. With that, I'd also like to invite reports from the Community Development Director, Jeff Kugel, and City Attorney Pam, who's not here apparently.
He's actually on Zoom though.
He's on Zoom.
Yes.
Okay. So any reports from Pam and Director Jeff Kugel or staff?
No report from me tonight.
No reports here either. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we're going to move on to items from the consent calendar. Will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless the commissioner has requested it to be removed for separate discussion. Does anyone wish to pull or comment on item 2? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to basically accept the minutes from our April 2nd meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, first by Commissioner Koss, second by Commissioner Davis. And I'll go to the Madam Clerk for a roll call.
Perfect. So Commissioner Crimmins?
Abstain.
Commissioner Davis?
Aye.
Commissioner Koss?
I
Vice Chair Faber?
Abstain.
Chair Norwood?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
Okay. So that, new business, resolution of the Planning Commission approving a certificate of appropriateness to allow construction of a new single-family dwelling within the historic preservation overlay zone located at 236 South Wabash Avenue. And I'd like to invite Assistant Planner Aaron Sinez to report, and then we'll open it for discussions and deliberations.
Hello, good evening, Chair Norwood and members of the commission. Before you tonight is a request for approval of a certificate of appropriateness to allow the construction of a new single-family dwelling to a contributing resource within that historic preservation overlay zone on certain property located at 236 South Wabash Avenue. Staff recommends the adoption of a categorical exemption for the project and to adopt a resolution approving the proposed project. A certificate of appropriateness is required due to the site being a contributing resource within the historic preservation overlay zone, and that is to allow the construction of the new single-family dwelling at that site. As previously stated, the subject property is listed as a contributing resource within the historic preservation overlay zone. There is currently no Mills Act agreement with the city. And the subject property on February 1st, 2022, was issued a certificate of appropriateness for exterior alterations to the existing residence and the construction of an attached two-car garage. The aerial here shows that the site is zoned R2 multifamily residential with a general plan designation of high-density residential. The subject site is developed with an existing 572 square foot residence and a 458 square foot attached garage. The existing residence is situated at the rear of the lot adjacent to an alley. The proposed project conforms to all applicable development standards with the exception of lot width and area. Shown here is the proposed site plan. The applicant is also proposing to designate the existing residence into an ADU, which is separate, which requires a separate staff review and is not part of this agenda item. Its inclusion in the plan set is for reference only. The new single-family dwelling, however, will be 1,560 square feet in size. Shown here are elevations for the proposed primary house structure. It is consistent with the craftsman style elements of the existing residence and features gabled roof form and gable ornamentation, wood siding, window frames, and composition shingles, all to complement the existing residence. All the colors, finishes are to complement the existing historic residence, which will be verified during the plan check phase of the project. And finally, the recommendation is to adopt the CEQA categorical exemption and also to approve the resolution for the proposed project. And I am available to answer questions.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Thank you for the report. My script here doesn't, and looking for seeking some guidance here, doesn't state anything here about
Just
opening,
to do discussion and deliberation amongst,
so there's not a public hearing.
no, this is not a public
Okay.
hearing.
That's, so just for discussion and deliberation. So we'll start with discussion and deliberations, and I'll start with Commissioner Koss.
Yeah, actually, I actually have driven past the site, so I'm kind of familiar with the property. So they're going to make the existing structure an ADU. And what they're requesting today is to build this single family home behind the ADU close to the alley, correct?
No, they're proposing a new single family residence to be closest to Wabash.
Okay,
The existing house is located at the rear of the lot, closest to the alley. So the new house is going to actually be closer to the street, similar to the other houses within the neighborhood.
all right, so it'll be in front.
Correct.
Okay. And then you said the application for the ADU unit is separate from what we're doing tonight, correct?
Correct. Yes, this is for the single family dwelling.
Okay, those are the only questions I had.
Commissioner Davis.
Can you define a contributing resource for me?
So a contributing resource is sometimes adjacent to a historical landmark. So contributing resources are houses that are within the vicinity that maintain the historical character and nature of the neighborhood. So
That's what I thought.
Yeah, you could argue it's the grouping of amongst all of them together contribute to the actual district,
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to be
not
clear.
an individual historic landmark, for instance.
And a certificate of appropriateness is basically dedicated to a historical area, or is a I've never seen a certificate of appropriateness come to us before that I remember.
The same property had one 2 years ago for the garage addition and the addition, the elements, they made some modifications to the back house that's being turned into the ADU.
on February 2022, they deleted or they demoed a shed in order to build this attached two-car garage.
And I think I remember that, but again, is a certificate of appropriateness, is that exclusive to a historical district? Okay, that's what,
Yes.
okay, that's what. Okay, and then, so the only two non-conforming things are the lot width needs to be 80 feet. They've only got 40. And you need 10,000 square feet and they've only got 6,400. How, I don't want to say how many, is it common for us to grant these? They're fairly far. It's stretching the requirement a bit from 80 feet to 40. You've cut the requirement in half, and it's a little over half for the lot area too.
Well, I think the distinguishing thing to clarify is that's the development standards are all being required and met. The lot is smaller than what the new zoning requires for that size of a lot in the zone. It's a small lot, but it still is achieving and meeting all the development standards for the new development.
So is SB 9 it being invoked, or an ADU being invoked here?
Well,
Not invoked, but how do they turn it? So they're going to build a new house and the back one will become the ADU.
the existing house is so small, it can be turned into the ADU. We can
'Cause it's less than
transfer
1,200
it. It's so
square feet, it's
small.
875.
They'll build a brand new house in the neighborhood to their front, and that will be just the back house. It's so small.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Crimmins?
One quick question. It's probably a stupid one, but the lot area of 6,400 square feet, that's from the front to the entire back of the lot, including the existing structure, or is it just that front chunk that's the 6,400 square feet? Does that make sense?
The 6,400 is the total.
The entire lot,
entire
including
lot.
front and back houses or?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is just the lot area. The house itself will be 1,560. The existing residence that's going to be designated an ADU is 572, and the garage is 458. So combined size is still meeting.
But lot size is it's the entire lot, not
Correct.
just from the front to where that back house starts. Okay. Other than that, I think it fits in well. I think it'll be an improvement to the area considering what's there right now. So yeah, it looks good.
Vice Chair Faber?
Yeah, I agree that I think it'll fit in well to the area there right now, so I do not have any questions or comments besides that.
Well, you already answered my question, which is the square footage, but it's also on the drawings here. The garage is almost as big as a house. So, and it does have a large front yard area. So I think it'll be an improvement to the neighborhood and a better use of the property than what's there now. So I don't have any other questions, but they have to come back and actually file an application to turn that back house into an ADU. I mean, they're building this front house, but they haven't applied for an ADU in the rear house. So is it meet our ordinances and building codes to build the front house with the back house as is without being an ADU?
That is correct. So they'll apply for a building plan check phase where that would also include the designation of the back house to an ADU. So that'll come at the same time, but the existing residence will also be looked at and reviewed to make sure that it is also meeting the ADU standards, which
What-
it will.
Okay, I guess my question is, they're not applying for an ADU as of yet. Are they going to apply that in conjunction when they build the house, or can they build the front house and leave the back house as
Being done at the
is?
same time,
Yeah, same.
with
Pardon
the
me?
same construction time.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
so-
thank you. Okay. With that, unless there's any other discussions or deliberations, I'm gonna request a motion to my last question, is this just a recommendation going to city council, or is this something that's sits with us that will be final?
This
for-
action is of the planning commission.
Okay. So I'll reread it. Resolution for the planning commission approving a certificate of appropriateness to allow construction of a new single-family dwelling within the historic preservation overlay zone located at 236 South Wabash Avenue. File number PLN 24-0010. And we've had our discussions and deliberations, so I'm going to request a motion in a second.
Make a motion.
All right.
I'll second.
A motion by Vice Chair Faber and a second by Commissioner Crimmins. And I'll turn it over to the Madam Clerk for a roll call.
Thank you. Commissioner Crimmins,
Aye.
Commissioner Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Cost,
Aye.
Vice Chair Faber,
Aye.
Chair Norwood.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. With that, it looks like it's a small agenda tonight. And I'm going to invite our commissioners to give a closing comments if they choose to do so. Commissioner Costs,
Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Commissioner Davis,
I have nothing. Thank you.
and Commissioner Crimmins,
Nothing for me this evening.
and Vice Chair Faber.
I'll just remind everyone, the Glendora Memorial Day 5K is Monday, May 27th. So for the two young people in the audience, get out and run, or anybody else. Thanks.
And thank you. And I have no closing comments. Staff, any closing comments from staff here tonight?
Just want to note, we are slated to have a meeting on June 4th. There are some items that are lined up for that meeting. So looks like 2 or 3 items for the meeting. So expect a meeting in June, and then expect an email from me asking about your guys' availability for July and August.
Okay, thank you. With that, we're going to adjourn our planning commission meeting, May 7th, 2024 at 7:18 PM.